Oh man. All right. Everything's unmuted. We're set. We're good. I think we're good. 5 by 5 or whatever you guys say, right? Down in the chat and whatnot. Hey, happy Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day to all of you that have served, are serving, have done cool shit, or been like me in the reserves and never deployed and never did anything cool. I can't say never did anything cool. I mean, I've done some cool things. Like made some really cool, friends and homies and whatnot. Been to a couple places around the world, which is pretty neat. And I got to meet interesting people and befriend them. Not, anyway, uh hey guys, happy birthday Marines, by the way. Yesterday, obviously, everybody says happy Halloween, and then it's like, hey, next holiday, happy Veterans Day. And it's like, pump the brakes there, Turbo. Time out. You forgot the Marine Corps birthday because nobody does it like the Marines. This is my first year, you know, um, as no longer an active serving Marine, and it's like, man, I felt a little emotional, yesterday, thinking 250th birthday of the Marine Corps. And I just got to say, happy birthday to all of you guys out there. Again, happy Veterans Day to everybody out there. And yeah, here we are. So, oh, interesting couple of days all around. But yeah, that's really about it, guys. Nothing all that exciting about the stream other than I'm talking to all of you guys and we're hanging out here. And obviously, I want to talk about anything and everything gun related because we need more of that on YouTube, especially. Thankfully, where I'm streaming right now, like to Rumble and X, they're actually pro First Amendment. I've been having a couple little run ins with YouTube. I had my, just so you guys understand how things work with YouTube, right? You upload a video, and then sometimes, depending on whatever the topic might be, depending on whatever is said during that video, it will get, if you're a monetized channel, which there are certain prerequisites you have to hit to become monetized on YouTube. But if you're a gun channel, it gets very difficult to, if you're not doing this just as a hobby, if you're trying to make a living doing this, it gets very, very difficult, especially if you don't have any outside sponsorships or anything like that. You're just doing everything directly from YouTube. You upload something depending on the topic. If it's anything gun related, just go ahead and expect that there's going to be a delay on the monetization status of that video. I bring all that up because you have pretty much three options. It can go fully monetized, with what I like to call green lit, because you get a little green dollar sign that shows that, hey, it's fully monetized. It's a good video. YouTube has approved it. You can get limited monetization, which is like a little yellow dollar sign, so you're not really making anything off that video. And then there's restricted, age restricted, and then there's a fourth, and that one's not really getting much of anything. It can be limited. It can be, if it's age restricted, that video is not going to do that great. And then there's a fourth option, which is you upload something that goes against the community guidelines to the point where they give you a strike or a warning. In my case, I was given a warning for the 100K thank you video, which, by the way, if you go to Rumble, if you go to my Rumble, Morgan, you can see what I'm talking about, because this is the last month for the 100K thank you. All right. So check out Rumble there. Now, I say all that because I uploaded the what is a battle rifle video a while back. Do you guys remember that? Right? It got to 130,000 views, which is great for my channel. And all of a sudden, I check on it. I check just about every video every single day, because even though that video has been up for about a month now, it got hit with limited monetization. And it's like, what? So I appealed it, and I wanted it to be reviewed. And then it said confirmed by review that, yep, this goes against a lot of their sponsors or ad spots, whatever. And so it's limited now. And it's like, I was talking with my buddy Jared, Guns and Gadgets. I can't remember if this was in a conversation during the live stream I had with him or a separate one. But he mentioned that he noticed he put a QR code that he noticed that a lot of his viewers were watching on a TV. So he made it easy. And then you take a look at the analytics and how many people are actually like subscribed that are watching your videos. And he noticed that there was a very large percentage of viewers that weren't actually subscribed to his channel. So he put a QR code that linked to his channel on YouTube. So that way, when somebody's watching on their TV, they could just scan it and subscribe right there. Easy, right? To YouTube. They actually hit him. I don't think it was an actual strike, but it was removing a video because they had a QR. He had that same QR code that was linking to his YouTube channel. That was, they said, going back to promote sales to a firearms retailer or something like that. And he's like, "What are you talking about? This is going back to YouTube, so somebody can subscribe, not to a retailer." Like, so they didn't even do the due diligence to actually see what the QR code went to. Man, I tell you, it's a fun game. Not really, but you know, here we are. So anyway, just a little bit of a rant, you know, like, man. And I say all that because I got a funny, you know, I wonder if I can bring it up. I saw a comment on the Palmetto State Armory M16A4, right? Sitting right over there. You guys can't see it. It's just off camera. If you're watching on like Facebook or wherever else where it's vertical, it's way off camera for you. But anyway, I know how it's really funny to me. The video is doing pretty well again for my channel and whatnot. And it's really funny how many of you guys are like, "Oh my God, you know, he's mentioning Palmetto State Armory," which if you've been following like on Instagram, Twitter, elsewhere, maybe not as much on Twitter, but Instagram definitely. I've actually been shouting out PSA for a while now, even with, you know, H&R, barely on camera, even with H&R and their retro series, right? Pretty cool stuff. But you know what I like about Palmetto State Armory is the fact that they're actually listening to the consumer and making pretty cool stuff. Whether that stuff is going to last in the long run, I will find out. I'm going to run the crap out of that M16A4 clone, and I'll let you know. But somebody, you know, of course, it doesn't matter what you do. If you promote one brand or another, you get called a shill. Even if you are just saying like, "Hey, I like this gun and I want to shoot it and it's doing well for me, I'm going to put a video out there." And then you get called a shill and everything else. And it's like, dude, you want to call me a shill for Palmetto State Armory when I've literally got a signature series with Daniel Defense right now, you know? So whatever, I guess. Well, by the way, YouTube is not my primary source of income, nor are the sponsors. That comes from Gun Owners of America, where that is my full-time job. Like, I'm very transparent about all this stuff. I haven't received a dime from Palmetto State Armory, but that's not even like the problem that's bothering me right now. The problem that's bothering me is I saw one comment where somebody referred to Reddit and TikTok stating that I'm not even a veteran. You know, like that, I guess my patches fell. Where the hell did the other one go? Oh, you know, it's like, I guess I just, you know, this random company just sent me this patch that has, you know, 25th, you know, Marine Regiment, 4th Marine Division, you know, my blood type, the last 4 of my EDIPI, which you don't get an EDIPI unless you served. You know, and it'd be one thing if I went full like Tim K and was just like, you know, going off about all this, you know, really exotic stuff that I've done. But I've said very openly, I spent 14 years in the reserves and I've never seen combat or anything like that. In fact, a video I'm dropping later this week with my buddy Jay Pedro, who is a combat veteran, who has seen some shit, who's still doing some cool stuff. I kind of talked to him about that, you know? And it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It's like, first of all, TikTok, I don't even, whatever, people can say whatever they want on TikTok. Like, who cares? And then Reddit is a cesspool, but I also enjoy some of the pages there, which is, it can be fun. I mean, all of social media at the end of the day is a cesspool, but I talk about this in I'm now co-hosting for the I guess foreseeable future. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I've been asked to be a guest, reoccurring guest on this podcast that you can find on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's called the Second Amendment Report. Spelled out everything, the Second Amendment Report. I had my first show that dropped this past weekend. Second one's dropping later this week, and it's pretty sweet. But I talk about how social media, just like firearms, are a tool. They can be used for good and bad. You can use social media to promote optimism, positivity, a lot of things like that. You can also use social media for misinformation and hate, whatever else. But I bring all that up just to say, like, this with this one comment. I'll read it to you guys. I'll read it to y'all because it's just like, and I even posted on Instagram. I posted on my story like, hey, there's a lot of negativity out there, but legitimately a majority, like 99.9% of my comments are you guys supporting and being awesome. And I thank every last one of you for it. All of the monthly subscribers and everything, you guys are the best. Thank you all. And then everybody in the chat, you got these guys that are just always in the live stream and everything. I can't thank you guys enough, for just being awesome and stuff. But anyway, where the hell did it go? I know I posted it on my story. I don't need to find it. Okay. So life hyphen HJ4ZI. So I don't even know if that's like a real handle. IDK, bro. Everyone on Reddit and TikTok saying you never served and you are a fake vet. Now, who should I believe? Besides, they say this is not how you handle M16 correctly. So there's some grammatical issues there, which, let's be real, grammar issues on the internet. You're going to find that everywhere, both AI and real. So who cares? But everyone on Reddit and TikTok, okay, hyperbole over here with it, like everyone on Reddit and TikTok. So I did a search myself, for the first time in like a long time. I was like, let's just Google me and Reddit me. And it's like, oh, wow, there's some shit that goes way back. Like, interesting. But nobody ever questioned my service. And hopefully I'll have my my honorable discharge paperwork before too long. But I saw one of the guys I served with, he got out a year and a half ago and just got his honorable discharge certificate. And there was like, they didn't even capitalize USMC. They abbreviated the rank wrong from the signing officer. And it's just like, what is going on, dude? I probably chose a decent time to get out of the military, even though, I left the Department of Defense and I didn't leave the War Department. That would have been kind of cool, the War Department. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore, man. I'm just over here like taking care of my horses and my chickens and my ducks and just driving my tractor along. We got our first snowfall today and I'm like, get ready. I'm going to post on YouTube a short or a reel or on Instagram of what a New Hampshire drive-by looks like, all right? It's going to be me on a tractor. I wonder if I could hold Chanticleer, that's my rooster, for those of you that don't know, at the same time. But then I'd have to figure out how to steer because I'm going to want to be in the snow, on the tractor, shooting one of my Henrys. I'll make it work. I'll figure it out. But anyway, went a little off the rails today, I guess. I don't know, but yeah. X marks the spot. Good to see you, dude. What's up, everyone? Checking in from New Mexico. Good to see you, dude. Also asking, bust my build rumble later. That's not a bad idea. I do need to bring those back again. That's always really fun, but that's gonna have to be specifically like a Rumble and X live stream. All right. Also, the super chats greatly help with the channel, so thank you guys. I keep sending the super chats again. Big shout out to the monthly subscribers or the monthly members. Y'all are the awesomest, and I can't thank you guys enough. Because look, man, I got this tractor now, and I got these. I'm still saving up for nods technically, and Nocturne Industries. I've got a really cool shoot happening next week with some homies. I'm not going to share too much right now, but it's gonna be pretty cool. You guys noticed the trailer playing. I dropped that a little while ago, and we got some cool things happening in the future. But Nocturne Industries, they're local to me, and they've got some new binos that are dropping, and I'm like, that might be the way to go, But Jake, thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Thanks to all who served, and happy birthday, Marines. That's excellent, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see here. Safely strapped. Howdy, howdy. Good to see you. We got Alaska Ted, who's saying Happy Veterans Day. And you talking about the secret code yet for that 100K thank you? Have you tried Raw Stick? Give that a shot. See what happens. All right. Hey Clint, happy B-Day and Veterans Day, Devil Dog. That's awesome. Thank you, Chevy Jim. Appreciate it, man. We got Chevy Jim, happy B-Day, Devil Dog, Veterans Day greeting as well. Hello, from Michigan, and when are we busting builds again? I guess it needs to happen. Guess it does. Let's see here. What's up, man? Good to see you. Rent Collector. Will download this in the AM, watch on the plane to Florida. Let it snow. Flying out of Manchester we go. Very cool. Oh, man. Let's see what we got. Hobbs. Hi, Clint. Looking to buy my first bolt-action rifle and can't decide between 308 or 6.5 Creedmoor. Any suggestions? What are you trying to do, right? Like, if you're trying to do precision at distance, then 6.5 Creedmoor. If you're trying to do like a good hunting round, 308 is going to do fantastic. So will 6.5, but I tend to lean towards 308 because it's a little bit more affordable and attainable in that regard. Yeah, it just really depends. I think if you were to find the same gun and the same gun in different chamberings, I feel like 6.5 is always. This isn't a fact. This is just a feeling of mine. I always feel like that you're going to pay a premium for 6.5 Creedmoor because that's just what manufacturers expect out of people that are shooting 6.5. Not a fact, just what's in my head, right? I'm definitely more of a 308 guy personally, but that's just because I've got a couple of AR-10s. Well, I can't even say a couple. Yes, I can. I can say a couple of AR-10s. And an FAL. I love my FAL. So... Also sitting off camera, sorry. But I'm wanting to add more AR, Now, if they were to make a 6.5 Creedmoor FAL, somebody commented that would be pretty rad. So 6.5 Creedmoor in my mind is the superior round, okay? I admit it. I say it. It has better ballistics, especially at distance. But 308, 7.62 NATO, America's cartridge is like, I don't know. I just always have I can admit that, sure, it's not the best, but I like it better. I don't know. Like the Mark 18. Of course, I'm going to find a way to throw that in there. It's right behind me, right? It's not the best, but yes, it is. Brandon, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate all of you guys. Crunchy Taco, thank you very much. We've got X marks the spot. Man, thanks, dude. How was the Donut and Brandon Range Day? That was actually really freaking cool. So I was there with GOA, my buddy Matt and I, getting people to help us fight our fight with Gun Owners of America over at the Unsub podcast, the Unsubscribe Range Day event. And it was pretty awesome, man. Got to see Brandon, hang out with him for a little bit. Got to hang out with Micah Mayfield some, Donut obviously, so many others, and man, it was a really cool event. I've never, ironically, this was out at Staccato Vegas. Their range that used to be what, Prairie Fire? Is that what it was? And first time being there, first time even shooting. Can you believe this? First time I shot a Staccato. All right. I shot it. I liked it. I did well with it. How would that compare to my Bull Armory guns? I want to do a direct comparison. And look, it's a between a rock and a hard place here, because I've obviously got a bias towards Staccato, made in America, USA, Texas based, right? Like, the staccatos that I shot were great. They did well. They performed well. But I just kept thinking, it's not as flat shooting as my pro. It's not as, we'll see. All right. Don't like, I want to do a direct comparison side by side, which is exactly what I did this past week. That video should be coming out very, very soon. I think that I have it scheduled to be next Sunday's video, depending on editing. I did a direct comparison of all the ambi lowers that I have, right? Everything from Aero Precision to Radian. I did them all. Okay, I can't say I did them all, but I did a lot of them. All right. And I'll tell you, it's interesting if you're not shooting something side by side and you're trying to compare in your mind. It can really like mess with you. Like, oh man, this shot great. Then you shoot it, then you shoot something else, a month down the road, and you're like, oh man, nothing can compare to this. And then you go back to what you shot before and you're like, wait a minute, did I shoot better? There's something about a side by side comparison that's difficult to beat. So that's what I'm looking to do more of. All right. But yeah, thank you, X Marks the Spot, man. I really appreciate that, dude. Thanks for the support. And then C Story, your realtor. What's up, man? Shake the hate, my dude. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Also, yeah, PSA is doing great things. Classic Firearms and Palmetto State Armory have been my main go-to shops. That's great, dude. It's really funny because a lot of people pointed out in that comment section, like, oh, remember the time, when you were with Classic Firearms, you couldn't talk about PSA, and understand that, they are direct competition. But, I've done different range days with all sorts of different competitors, even when I was with Classic, and I made the statement, like, we can be competitors in the industry. But at the end of the day, we're all allies in the fight to preserve the Second Amendment. And look at where I'm at now with Gun Owners of America. I feel like that's definitely more of a home to me. And Classic Firearms will always have a special place in my heart. But the Second Amendment is what it's all about. Our individual rights, our civil liberties, all are protected and guaranteed because of the Second Amendment. And that's something that just is more important to me than, business, I guess. And so, yeah. I didn't didn't mean to remove the comment there. But no, dude, I really appreciate that support, dude. And it's just funny to think about saying Classic Firearms and Palmetto State Armory in the same sentence. You guys, like, the comments on that video are so funny because it's like, yeah, I mean, think about it. We're competitors. It is what it is. And one person I saw commented, it's like, how are you guys competitors? Because PSA is a manufacturer. And I've walked into PSA stores. I've seen surplus hanging on the wall or on their shelves. And I'm like, well, I know who had the exclusive to that surplus firearm. They got it from Classic, or PSA may not have bought directly, there's things, right? But it was just kind of funny. I was just like, yeah, it is what it is, man, But they were competitors because they could be selling the same type of item. That's all there is to it. Just like, I mean, Atlantic Firearms, Brownells, Midway. Who am I forgetting? There's so many out there that might be getting firearms from the same distributors, and then they might be actually taking a little bit less profit to be able to sell more or to at least get eyes on their product. And the biggest difference between like classic firearms and like Atlantic firearms is everybody had their own YouTube channels, but then it's about the connections you make and who's been in the industry longer. And man, it's a lot, dude. It's definitely a lot. But this is also why capitalism is great, because if there was only PSA, right, let's say, or only one of them for any of that matter, and they had the monopoly on the whole thing, then who's to say how much anything would have cost? If there's not a little bit of competition in there to keep everybody honest or whatnot, then you know. So what can I say? Happy Veterans Day and thank you for your service. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Chevy Jim, question. Hold up display pistol holder you have. How do you think they will work with a suppressor attached? Well, they work great, ironically enough. Um, I would have thought that I had one up here, but no. They work great. If you, I'm trying to think about a video that I've done where I'm down here, and you can definitely see that I've had suppressors mounted to some of the pistols behind me. They work fantastic. And what's cool about the pistol mounts, let me not handle a firearm on camera because YouTube's funny like that. Right, if I come over here, what's cool about the hold up displays, which you guys definitely should be checking out, you can have like the trigger guard resting in here, muzzle in down here, but it rotates, right? Like it twists. So you can have it balanced to sit any which way, whatever makes sense for you. If you want it more vertical, you want it more horizontal, if you want it more balanced, depending on how much weight you have at the muzzle end, because of said silencer or anything like that, that's all available and working for you. So it's a pretty cool thing. Are we still live on YouTube? Because even though it's not me handling a firearm, YouTube's just funny like that, as I mentioned before. You know what I'm saying? So here we are. But yeah, there you go. Anon Patriot. Americans don't lose their rights to speak freely just because they visit a site run by dirty commies. You're right. We don't lose our right, but we could lose our channel on said platform that we're exercising our right. So keep that in mind. Redhead Devil, good to see you. Good evening to all the veterans. Good evening to everyone. Thank you all. Any long-term experience with the Daniel Defense PCC? As I was, I may or may not have an FRT in mind right now, and may not have run it with a 60-round drum, and it ran flawlessly. And I've been shooting it since then. And I can tell you right now, so long term, I mean, it depends on what you consider long term. For the past several months and probably at least a few thousand rounds now, it's doing really well. I'm a fan of the DDPCC, definitely a fan of that. So very cool. T Sorensen, hoorah! Happy birthday, brother! Looking good for 250, right? I think so. Remember when they said we were fighting them over there so we wouldn't have to fight them here? I feel betrayed. And on Patriot again. Yeah. Yeah. I got thoughts on that. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit later. So, YouTube AI is lazy as AF. Yeah, I already got a feeling this stream is going to be limited. But it's just true though. It is what it is. They are lazy, and AI is lazy, and so are, from what I can tell, the employees, because it says straight up, confirmed by manual review. That means an actual person has taken the time to watch the video, supposedly, and confirmed that it should be, the video should be removed from YouTube or remain limited monetized, and it's nuts. I know there are a couple of pro gun guys at YouTube. I know they are. Unfortunately, I don't think they're the ones watching my videos all the time. So there you go. Jake, thanks again, brother. Appreciate it. Do you have a hold up display on your tractor hitch yet? Because Kentucky got to keep up, bro. So, yeah, he's got an entire outdoor display, which is really cool. I bet you I could actually put a couple of panels on the back of the tractor. And with their securing mounts, oh my God. Instead of getting a gun rack, I get a hold up display with their securing mounts. I do have those locking mounts that hold up has to offer. Yo, I'm thinking of something fun for the tractor now. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate that. You know, if I do a video about my redneck gun rig, tractor rig, I'll be sure to shout you out, man. Oh man. And on Patriot, I would rather have a budget rifle like a PSA than nothing. I would definitely prefer something over nothing. Yes, I agree. That's for sure. Firearms, fuel, fabrication, FFF. Thank you for to all veterans. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Every time people called me Chair Force, I always said, "Hell yeah, mine even reclined, recoil ready." That's funny. My grandfather was in the Air Force. I don't know exactly what he did. I wish I talked to him a little bit more before he passed in 2009, 2010. And yeah, no, he used to ride his bicycle to base for work, and then ride home to the farm to take care of my grandmother and the six kids that he was raising. You know, what a time, man. He was definitely part of the generation that was, you know, hard times bred hard men, you know. Oh man. Chevy Jim, don't let the haters hate on you. Been told I wasn't a veteran since I got out in 94. You know, let them say what they're going to say, man. I just clapped back to one guy. I was like, look, don't get mad at me for living the life you wish you had, bro. Like, sorry, man. Like, I'm not sorry. What am I talking about? I'm not sorry at all. I've worked my ass off to get where I'm at right now, and I've learned from a lot of mistakes and wrong decisions, and I've been really extremely blessed and fortunate to be where I'm at now with my family, my wife, my kids, this property, even, what I'm doing. It might be a lot of work, and I go to bed tired. That's for damn sure. Which I think everybody should, but there's that fulfillment, you know, which is that's good because a lot of people might go to bed tired and they're fighting for that next penny, not really feeling fulfilled, or they're not fighting for anything at all and there's no fulfillment. They got everything they need, everything they want, all the money in the world. Maybe it's just not that satisfying. Country Bear Assassin. I just posted on YouTube a howitzer my town fired to salute veterans. It was cool. Obviously not a real load, but it was cool. That is really cool. Yeah. Yeah. I guess Kels, my wife, by the way, she may have just joined just now. Because she's like, hey, talk about the night vision shoot. And I mentioned it to you guys already. I was like, hey, the trailer that was playing on Rumble and on YouTube, you should have seen the night vision video. I said, babe, that I didn't want to talk too much, about who all is involved this time and what all we got going on. But it's going to be something very different than what you typically see on my channel. And I think you guys are going to like it. I think you're going to like it. I think you're going to be entertained. And yeah, that's what I got to say about that. So, but this howitzer that your town fired, respect. I like it. I like it a lot. What's your opinion on factory comps on your everyday carry? Steve is asking. I trust factory comps over aftermarket comps. Radian, I think, has got it down. But aside from that, I have a hard time trusting aftermarket comps. I would much rather trust factory compensators, like on my SIG AXG Legion. I know, right? 365 AXG Legion, that thing runs, so I'm cool with that. And I don't want to say I'm letting it bother me as much as it's like, you know, the negativity just kind of sticks to you on a different way. You know, it's like, damn, dude, like again, none of these people know me. And to be completely honest, there's only probably a few of you watching that actually legitimately know me. Know my daily struggles, know me and my wife, know my kids, know the in and outs of what I do every single day. Um, but there's something about like seeing so many of you coming to my support to support the channel, and even with like your super chats and everything else, that's directly supporting me and my family, right? And it's just like, man, the dichotomy, the differences between you guys, how awesome you are, and then a few others who watch one video think that I'm shilling, which I truly am, like, against, because at the end of it all, I think if you watch my videos and you actually like listen to what I say throughout the entire length of the video, I will tell you, just like I did in this PSA M16A4 video, that if you're looking for a true clone, one from a very reputable manufacturer, then get the FN M16A4 Military Collection Series. That is damn near exactly what I was actually issued in the Marines. Not just looking the part, but the actual manufacturer that manufactured my issued firearm came out with a civilian variant. That is obviously going to be a more clone correct firearm. The only difference is, unfortunately, it doesn't have the third position. It has it engraved on the lower, which a lot of manufacturers do that, just like the PSA one. It just doesn't go into said third position, unfortunately. Which, by the way, if you're not a member of Gun Owners of America, sign up, become a member, so that way we can get that third position without having to ask the government for permission. All right? Okay, great. I digress. All right? Why do I let it bother me? I don't know, man. It's one of those things. It's like, dude, most of the time I don't. But this is the first time I've been called out, like, about my military service. Ironically, it's after I get out, after, again, just this past August, right? August 26th, done. End of active service, EAS, right? DD 214 in the mail, and it's just like, for those of you that don't know, DD 214 is like your discharge. Like that shows like you're done, you've ended this segment, carry on, right? And yeah. So, no, I'm not serving now, but I did. And I've lost a few guys along the way. And I think that's the part that's bothering me, is like, you're questioning my service. And I've never even claimed to do anything super cool. Like, I'm not saying that I shot Osama. I'm not saying that, I rescued kids in a hostile environment under direct fire. Or like what Hillary Clinton was talking about, taking sniper fire when she got off of a plane. No, I've never come under any type of fire except for online, ironically. And it's not even that bad. That's the problem. Like, I shouldn't even let it like become this thing. It's not a big deal whatsoever. It's one dude's comment. It's like, why is it sticking here? Screw that guy. Move on. I'm done giving it the time of day. It's not worth it. You're right. Thank you, everybody else. Onto a super chat. Tanner, my man, always making me feel good. These are the same people that say, must be rough, must be nice. Oh, that one also sucks. Don't know what we go through to get where we are. I don't know if you guys watched my podcast a couple years ago on the CF podcast with Brandon Herrera. Late night. Oh my God. We were up. Yo, this was at SHOT Show. I don't think I actually got back to my room until 7 a.m. And I was back up at 8:30 to hit the floor and go back to recording, right? And interviewing. And because we were at the Circle Bar, Brandon Herrera said he didn't want to come into the Circle Bar, so that way he's very self-aware. He's like, look, if I walk over there, I'm gonna get flooded with people. I don't mind it, but I want to do this podcast with you. Let's go to your room. All right, cool, let's do it. And we did it. And by the time we got to the room, got everything set up, the cameras set up, the audio set up, it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then it turned out to be about a 3 hour live stream. I mean, after editing and everything, I think it cut down some, but it was a long time. And we even talk a little bit about this, you know? And yeah, of course, we're like, drinking during the stream and things like that. So as you can imagine, it just erodes and we talk about all sorts of stuff. Go back, check it out. And if you are in Texas, right? Texas, District 23, go support Brandon Herrera, all right? But anyway, back to what Kels was talking about. We do have an upcoming night vision shoot. This is going to be pretty cool. I will say that there's going to be a couple of familiar faces and maybe a couple of new faces that you're going to see on the channel. And it's going to be very cinematic. I want to do a little bit of a storytelling, and I'm working with some incredible people behind the scenes, behind the camera, that know me personally, not even know Kelsey, my wife, personally, and like understand what our vision is, and that I'm really excited about. When you're working with a great team, talented people, and people that are just good, I think something great is on the horizon. All right. At least it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you, Tanner. I appreciate it, man. Jake, again, thank you. Loser trolls have to have something to do while their mom is bringing Cheetos to the basement. High speed tractor barrel racing, Crunchy Taco says. Tanner, you need GPS on your tractor and just push a button and it drives itself. How do you think we farm these days? That part's cool. What I'm using my tractor for, though, is mucking out horse stalls. And I'm looking forward to the first snowfall so I can, like the first real snowfall, so I can use my plow. All right. Mower deck, front loader, and a plow all on this little Kubota. I'm happy with it. A little B2301, nothing like all that crazy. And even with the mower deck on it, it barely fits, but it does fit right into the gate that gets me right up to my horse stalls. And man, it's making life a lot easier than having to push a wheelbarrow back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So, Chevy, super chat over in Rumble, not from me. I really wish the super chats from different whatever I'm trying to say, different platforms would actually show up here. But thank you. I appreciate that. AK Ted, for horse feed or your nods, your choice. I appreciate that. Thank you. I've got Rumble up now too. Actually, I'm going to put Rumble up on the second screen so that way I stay up to date with that. Man, chat on Rumble. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you. I didn't even realize that. How many of you guys are over there? So yeah, T Sorensen is saying, what about Henry dropping the commemorative United States Marine Corps in 4570, the USMC rifle in 4570? I know. I don't want to say, I'm not going to take any credit for that. I'm just going to say, as a Henry ambassador, that's also United States Marine, and also says that in lever actions, 4570 is my favorite caliber. Ironically, I don't have one of those. I have the 22. What you gonna do? What are you gonna do? AK Ted, I see you though. Rumble rants must not be coming through on StreamYard. Yeah, I know. Like the regular Rumble chats I see, and then the super chats on Rumble, they just come up as regular. They don't show up bright and shiny on StreamYard like they do for YouTube, and I guess only YouTube. So I'll keep Rumble up though. So thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. All right. But that's what Goodfella D is saying, unless it's a Rumble only live stream, he does not tend to appear to focus on he does tend to appear to focus on YouTube chat. In his defense, Rumble chat is at 15 right now. Yeah, so YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, those ones all come across, and Rumble, but just saying, like, that's just, that's, what are you going to do? Like, there you go, IMMR 1776. What's the secret code, my boy? Rostic. Check Rostic out for that, all right? Okay, so now we're getting into something that's a little bit different, all right? Because 1999 D. Budnick is wanting to know, what affordable AR do I recommend specifically from PSA? I don't know. I've got the H&R 12.5-inch IDF pistol and their M16A4. Those are the only ARs from PSA that I own. And the H&R is performing very well. I'm very happy with it. Shot it suppressed about 90% of the time with the Allen Engineering AE-M5 suppressor. And the M16A4, I've only got a couple hundred rounds through. So I can't say I recommend anything right at the moment because I don't have enough personal experience to be able to give you an honest opinion. You know what I'm saying? So stay tuned. All right. Now, if I was looking for a more budget-friendly AR option, I'll give you two that come to my mind right off the top of my head. You guys already know I'm going to talk about the IWI Zion because, I mean, for a sub $1,000 AR, full-length M-LOK rail, B5 systems, furniture, A2 flash hider, who cares? You're going to take that off anyway, probably. And even comes with a couple of accessories that I thought was pretty cool, like in the box, like a QD mount for your sling and whatnot. Awesome. Rostic Arms. That's the current 100K thank you, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Rostic does a great job. He takes very deep pride into what he manufactures and what he makes. And like what I talked about years ago with him, when he first started talking about manufacturing, becoming a manufacturer, my biggest piece of advice is don't be in it for the money and make a product that you yourself would use to protect you and your family. Like 100%, no doubt. Okay? And if you have that type of integrity and he's doing everything he can, follow him, rostic.arms on Instagram. His Instagram page got taken down. I swear that social media, IG, YouTube will go after the smaller channels more so than the bigger channels. And I'm considering myself a bigger channel because I have only had one video removed from YouTube since starting. I know several smaller channels, and if he's watching tonight, that includes Monadnock Shootist, who has had multiple videos taken down from YouTube. And he's not doing anything wrong. That's the thing. So if you're making YouTube money, they'll work with you some. They'll allow a thing or two. But if you're a smaller channel just trying to exercise his Second Amendment through exercising his First Amendment, his or her, then you're not monetized yet. Or if you are, you're, on the much smaller scale, just barely scraping by, barely bare minimum of doing what needs to be done to become monetized. You're not doing YouTube any favors. So why would they even help or allow a smaller channel that's promoting things that they dislike? They won't. But if you're a couple 10,000, 100,000, couple million subscribers, that ad revenue is going to be hard to say no to. Isn't that right, YouTube? I get it. I'm sure some employee is going to be like, hey, don't bite the hand that feeds. And it's like, feeds what, dude? Like, I barely make money off of YouTube, so whatever, dude. Like I said, Rumble, even though I get far less, monetization on Rumble, I actually kind of treat Rumble as an afterthought. Like I haven't uploaded there for a while. I stream there, and then I was like, oh, I need to upload this video that I just did for YouTube onto Rumble. I treat it as an afterthought. It's like the following for me isn't there. They're gonna push, who is more, just like anything else, whoever uploads more frequently and things like that. I'm sorry, this is supposed to be fun for me, and my main thing is with Gun Owners of America and taking care of my family. YouTube and everything else is kind of an afterthought. And I guess as far as afterthoughts go, YouTube is the highest afterthought on the priority list there. And then it's like Instagram. And then maybe Twitter. And then everything else just kind of falls by the wayside. So I'm sorry, Rumble, that I don't do as much for you. All right. Maybe one day. All right. But yeah, that's what I got to say about that. So it's just, it is what it is. YouTube, like, hey, there's no denying you got the presence, you got the engagement. The problem is you've got a lot of people that are lawfully and legally exercising their Second Amendment right, and you, for lack of a better word, fuck them. Like it's just it's insane. And I know that YouTube makes money off of all the different revenue streams and everything else, but ads and stuff like that, but especially from these larger channels. But I feel for the guys that are just getting started, that maybe don't have a presence in the industry, that don't have an online presence as it is, and they're just looking to just kind of upload and talk about things that they're passionate about. And then they're met with an algorithm that's ultimately set to silence them, remove them, prevent them from doing what they want to do. If you're not a car channel or doing makeup tutorials or food reviews, what chance do you have? Or in the music industry? You can have music videos showing the actual murder of people, but God forbid if I want to talk about our Second Amendment right and the firearm safety. Things that might actually save people's lives. Blows my mind. Anyway, I'll be done ranting. Okay. Am I still streaming? Is it still up? Oh my goodness. But yeah. Let's just keep on moving over here. So, my mother's dad served in the Air Corps, then the Air Force, then had a long career with Lockheed Martin and other defense companies. Part of the industry. Good for him. Sorry, gents, have to run. Have a good live stream. Thank you, X marks the spot. Appreciate that. Have you seen the new V Glocks? And do you think they will be reliable? So Traveler 1970, check out my stream with, it's the last stream I did with Jared, Guns and Gadgets. We talked a little bit about that. I haven't seen one of the V Glocks in person just yet. Yeah, I think they're going to be reliable. I think it's probably a very slight modification to keep these dang switches from being installed. All right. Country Bear Assassin, very excited to see the night shoot video. I am too. Right. Let's see here. Jay Duffy saying at Anon Patriot. Amen, brother. Bless you. Let's see here. I just wanted to see see if I can find. Anon was saying, without God, you will never fill that hole inside. You gotta have something bigger, higher than you. I mean, in a lot of ways, that's actually a lot of things that are higher. But I get what you're saying. You're absolutely right. Captain Caveman 8922. Thank you and your family for your service to all the veterans out there. Appreciate that. Thank you. Clint from Captain Capt 10. Let's see here. What is your take? Ruger RXM or PSA dagger? So again, my experience with PSA is actually very minimal. I do not have or own or have any. I have shot the PSA dagger. Alec from Classic had a PSA dagger. Did great. Well performing. No complaints. But that being said, I've shot the ever living piss out of the Ruger RXM, and I'm definitely a fan of the Ruger RXM. Like, man, they have really price point and everything. Solid gun. Solid gun. So I just, again, my bias is towards Ruger because I've got more rounds through it, and I've got mine set up with an EOTech E-Flex. I've shot it suppressed, so Ruger RXM for me. Okay. Oh, Pete me 508 HK. Thank you for the super chat. Wants to know HK. Is that like? It's weird. It's right next to the. Are they all like that? Like if I go back to one of my other ones. No, it's weird with the HK right there. Thank you, Tanner, again. Is that like Hong Kong or something? I don't know. But anyway, Pete, here, what are your preferred full auto firearms? All right, so shall we go down the list? Preferred full auto firearms, MP5 is just hella fun. I've shot the MP5 SD. Gets dirty real quick. You need to maintain it. But that thing is a lot of fun. MP5 SD is a lot of fun. This past weekend, I got to shoot the Zastava 556 AK with the 100-round drum from KCI, suppressed. And that was incredible. That's just fresh on my mind. But belt fed 240, right? Like the 240, I mean, that's just like LMT let me rock a, I don't even remember how many rounds were on that belt, but LMT, an LMT 240 with their silencer on it. That was a while ago. That was a couple years ago now, but man, that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Let's see who else. Full autos. A full auto FAL. Got to run one of those at Kalash Bash, and I can tell you right now, I want that. All right, I want that. So full auto FAL. And there's a lot of full autos out there, guys, and I mean, I guess the reason why like the M4, M16 hasn't come to my mind is because it's so basic. It's like, it's fun. What do you expect? Everybody and their mom's got a full auto Mark 18 or 5.56 this, 5.56 that in an AR style platform, an M4 and M16 platform. But like a 5.56 AK, I mean, that's just, yeah, that's awesome. The BM59 full auto that I got to run that belongs over to Monadnock Firearms, which, by the way, if you're not following those guys, Monadnock Firearms, that's a MONADNOCK Firearms. You need to. All right. Awesome guys. They're right down the street from me, and I got to do my next coffee meetup here soon because I really enjoy doing that. Just bringing a bunch of donuts and coffees and talking guns in person. It's like the live streams. Imagine, if you will, right? My live streams, but in person over a cup of coffee and in the gun shop that I'm talking about like all these guns in person, right? And we're just there and we're going over. It's a lot of fun. Okay. If you're local to the area or if you're not, come up and say hi. Okay. Let's do the next one in like a week or two. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So look out for that on social. I guess I'll just tell Rob in the morning, like, hey, I'm doing another coffee with Clint in like a week, so I'm using your shop too. You can't say no. And if he says no, then show up anyway, and I'll at least have coffee. Bring your own, I guess. He's not going to say no. Anyway, I go off on a tangent so easy. The BM59 that he has there, incredible. The rate of fire on that. You can go through 20 rounds of 308 in like a second. I swear. It feels like a second. Like next time I need to bring a shot timer with me, excuse me, and run it and see. I mean, oh my God, guys, it's just done. Um I love full auto 308s though. The 249 is also a great full auto. Love shooting that thing. I didn't get to shoot that a lot in my Marine Corps career. The 249. Ironically, I think I've shot the 240 in my civilian career more than I did in my military career. It's funny how that works sometimes. America. And, just full auto 7.62 by 39 AKs. Awesome. I'm going to go back to the FAL again. Awesome. The M60. First date. First date with my wife. She knew that I wanted to shoot an M60, and she's like, let's go to the range. And I got her on a 300 blackout suppressed gun. I don't even remember what the gun was. I just remember it being 300. It was probably a DD, but I just remember being a rental 300 blackout suppressed. And then that M60 was hanging up on the wall. And she's like, if you could shoot any of these guns, there's like a 50 cal and everything. I was like, but I've shot a 50 cal, like whatever. But I was like, the M60. I was like, I haven't shot. And she's like, we're going to rent it. I was like, that's an expensive ass rental. And she's like, no, we're doing it. And this was like our first date. And she ran a couple rounds through it. I ran it. They let me offhand it. I was like, dude, this is fun. This is the M60. The M60 was up there for me. So are there full autos I haven't shot that I wish I could shoot? Yeah. 14 years in the Marine Corps. I never shot the Mark 19. That's the one full auto I missed out, I mean, I probably would have gotten through 5 or 6 rounds before it jammed, and for those of you that don't know, the Mark 19, it's a really big difference going from the Mark 18 to the Mark 19. All right, let me explain why. The Mark 18, let's say it's full auto, is essentially a short-barreled full auto AR. Okay, 5.56, easy enough. The Mark 19 is a 40 millimeter grenade launcher that's full auto. So, make it make sense. All right, I'll wait. Oh man, the barefooted gardener. Good to see you again, dude. Thank you very much. What's up, everyone? Rumble is an afterthought for me too. Dude, even my content gets throttled down. Nebula, another one. Dude, don't even tell me about another platform. I don't even have Threads. When I saw that, I was like, I don't feel like keeping up with it. I just don't. I just don't have the time, man. So, oh, good fella. Oh man, if a Tommy gun isn't on his list, and I've shot a Tommy gun. This is on Rumble, by the way, talking about that. Nebula, I've never even heard of Nebula. Don't know what that is. I can't. Another platform, bro. Give me a break. Give me a break. I will say this. Up and coming platforms that are actually pro gun. Trigger Hill. Right? Trigger Hill. That's one I'm happy to see because they've got like a marketplace that's all firearms related. Like that's cool. So check out Trigger Hill too. Because that one, if we're talking about platforms that are newer, that don't exhaust me, that one. But anyway, and now I have trust issues with Clint from Goodfella. I'll be honest with you, dude. I completely forgot. I forgot about the Tommy gun. It's surprisingly a little underwhelming. It's a big, heavy gun. I say big, heavy. I mean, it's a clunky, heavy SMG, and chambered in 45. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. I shot it. I was like, this is cool. This is dope. And then I was like, You know, I guess it comes from the mindset of being in the service, and it's just like, imagine that. And it's like, this thing's kind of heavy, you know? Like if I were to own a Thompson, it would definitely be like the 28, um, not the A1, the military one. Give me the vertical grip, shorty vertical grip, like something, gangster, gangsta. That would be more of the Thompson I would have. The one that I shot was an A1, and it was cool. I mean, a beautiful ejection pattern. I mean, it looked like a rainbow of brass. I mean, just beautiful. So I'll say that. All right, does that work? All right. Oh man, let me get on down here. That escalated fast. Yeah. So, um, yeah. Again, going from the Mark 18 to the Mark 19. Just saying. It's pretty wild. Mark 19 was so much fun to shoot, at least when I was in. I missed out. I missed out. Um, Garen Wilson 4964, you did a great job at goals. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. And I'm going to be doing something similar like that in December down in Florida. If you guys haven't seen GOA's Carry on the Coast, I think it's what, $35 a ticket to go. It's a big fundraising thing. We're going to have a lot of stuff that we're auctioning off and everything. And they're like, hey, we'd love to have you be the auctioneer. And I'm like, I've never done that. Like, hey, it's 45, 45, 45, 50, 50, 50, 55. What do I see? 70, 70, 75. No, like, I've never done that, And I'm like, that's not really me. And like, no, no, no. Just be you. So you want me to be me at a fundraising event for Gun Owners of America to try to convince people to buy guns. Done. Absolutely. 100%. Sign me up. And it's in Florida. And I'm in New Hampshire, so you can imagine I'm like, I wouldn't mind a little bit of sunshine. That'd be cool. So, yeah. Yeah. We good there. Oh, man. Jump Master. That's cool. You are more than welcome to come to Fort Irwin and have fun with our M19. Now, who's saying that? How do I have permission with my expired military ID to come on base and shoot a Mark 19? All right. You let me know. Shoot me a little DM there. And if I get a hard yes, I'll make a video out of it. Rolling through the gate. Expired military ID in hand. And, actually, that's something, that would be kind of funny. I don't think there's like any sensitive. Do I even have it in my wallet still? You want to see a funny picture? Yeah, there it is. So, I mean, I don't even know like what parts I should like cover on this and whatnot, but like that's the military ID right there. Like I said, I'll just cover some of this because, like I said, there's not really any sensitive information there. But there it is, August 2025. Damn. Pay grade E6, rank staff sausage. Yeah. So, for anybody questioning that. Oh man. Garen is saying I'd stay away from the 365. Maybe, maybe not. I've been shooting it for a long time, especially the AXG Legion, which is the one that I've been carrying for years now. And it's been working really well for me. Shot it a lot. So initially, I think the 365 did have some issues, but what are you going to do? Okay. Hey, Clint, what AR? Mary Beth and Mark, I got a question. Okay. Because it sounds like you're alluding to a 380 AR-15, which to my knowledge doesn't exist. But 308 ARs do exist. So if you're asking me if I would recommend an AR-10 for home defense, what are you anticipating you're defending your home from? My short answer is you do you. Whatever you think is necessary to take care of you and your own, do that. Who am I to say? Just that's my big issue with gun laws in general is who is the United States government or any entity outside of myself? Who are they to determine what I should deem necessary or fit to protect me, my loved ones, my property, my pursuit of happiness, anything like that, right? Like anybody outside of me. Don't try to tell me what I need. That same mentality is coming to play here. If you think you need a 308 AR to defend you and yourself, by all means, go for it. However, speaking from my personal opinion, only my opinion, I would say something like this little shorty. See this guy? Again, if you're watching and you've got a vertical screen, you probably can't see it, but if you're watching, you got landscape. This little guy right here, it's a little 300 blackout SBR suppressed. You get the 7.62 cartridge, ultimately in a 5.56 case, which allows you to run standard AR-15 magazines. You know, all right, did I say 7.62 cartridge? I meant to say 7.62 projectile. And it's a great suppressor host. That's the PDW from Daniel Defense. And but yeah, if you need a 308, man, I mean, you do you. Like I said, who am I? I mean, I'll judge, but who am I to tell you what you might need or not? You know what I'm saying? AK Ted on Rumble is saying divorce 7 for home defense. That's great. I mean, it makes sense, right? Bullpup 308. It's great for room to room to room clearing. You know what I'm saying? Monadnock Shootist. What's he saying over here? To Sharia Manasuva 7686. What? I'm trying to go back and see what you're responding to there, Monadnock Shootist. I don't know. You're saying the P365 in all variants is phenomenal, but the Legion AXG and the X macros are, in my opinion, the best two. Perfect concealability and capacity and top tier reliability, in my opinion. Look, man, I know it's just your opinion. You don't need to say in your opinion twice, all right? Hear me out. So what you're saying is AXG and X macros are, in my opinion, the best two, ... Perfect concealability, top tier reliability, in my opinion. We got it with the first, in your opinion. You don't need to elaborate on the second, in your opinion. I'm sorry, I'm just giving you a hard time because you somehow think the SCAR is better than the FAL, and you're so wrong. Like that's your opinion that you've stated like a couple of times now, and it's wrong, okay? I personally know Monadnock Shootist, guys. All right. I just like giving him a hard time. I personally do like the AXG Legion. I agree with him that the 365X macros and the Legion are definitely like the top two when it comes to that pistol. So there you go. All right. There you go. Thank you, Garen Wilson. Fusil automatique léger. All right, that just sounds good. Like that just rolls off the tongue. Fusil automatique léger. Like you can't help but say it in an accent that I have no basis to be saying in. You know, it's just so good, so good. I'm glad you can take a joke, man. I did it twice. Whoa, Jay Duffy coming out here catching strays. I do not need a shave. All right. You know how I got this beard? I got out of the Marine Corps. Let's be real though, like I've been growing the beard the entire time. I know it's not like by definition the right thing to do in between drills as a reservist, but I did it anyway because I never claimed to be like A plus Marine. All right. The Marines that served under me, I think they liked me. I think they respected me, which is cool. I don't give a shit if they liked me or not, but as long as they respected me and, you know, they trusted me, that's the biggest thing. You don't have to like me, but as long as you respect and you trust that I'm going to make sure that I am prioritizing you, then good. That doesn't mean I shave every day between drills, because forget that, all right? Oh, AK Ted is also saying, take your wife outside. Northern lights should be visible tonight if you have clear skies. I don't know if we have clear skies, but I'll have to check that out. And then Goodfella, can I find this one? This one's funny. I gotta find this. So I can pop it up here. No Tommy gun, and now Clint is a grammar Nazi. Clint was truth telling earlier when he sold most of us don't know him. Oh man, I really am just I'm just having a good time, dude. I'm out here, down here, over here, whatever. Just hanging out with you guys for the night, all right? That's all there is. Tanner, must be nice to grow a beard. It's not difficult. You just got to hit puberty, all right? You'll get there. Dude, I'm sorry. Everybody's catching strays tonight. I'm sorry, bro. You're I love you guys so much. Tanner, yeah, you didn't deserve that. I'm sorry. Oh shit. I do want to try one of the PTR a or make from Century Roller Delay 308 gun. So I had a PTR 91. All right. I regret selling it. I really do. I sold it a couple years ago when I was still with Classic. You know, just was like, I never really shoot this thing. It actually wasn't that great of a suppressor host. You know, I felt like the recoil was kind of heavy after adding a suppressor to it. I was like, meh, you know, and then it's like, I should have kept that gun. Oh, and do y'all remember a couple of live streams ago? I was talking about that like HK91 clone that I found on Gunbroker. Wouldn't y'all know it? One of you. I know it was one of you. I was like, it's been up for several days, got no bids. I'm like, it's a really good price. I'm like, I might go for it. Yeah, after I got off that stream, it had like 3 or 4 bids on it. You guys can't stand y'all sometimes, all right? If it was one of y'all and you have it, at least let me know so we can shoot it together or something, okay? Because I want to do a video on it. All right. Anyway. My fire is thick tonight. Oh man, from Panzer Rab Vrakanon. Oh man, Morgan to man, Morgan Solo Gordo, unsubscribing. I've had a beard for like 15 plus years. I know you have, dude. Like I've met you in person. We've hung out. Like I've seen like I'm sorry, dude. Oh man, I'm just cracking myself up tonight, all right? Woo! Goodness gracious. Yo, all right. You know what? If I'm dishing it out, I got to be able to take it in, right? You're not wrong though. I've told my wife even. I'm like, look, when I was 16, I used to have my driver's license picture from when I was 16 years old. That was the last time I had a jawline. All right. I also weighed like 115, 120. Okay. That was the last time I had a jawline. After that, like I discovered beer and that was out the window. Okay. And I've had a double chin ever since then, you know? And you could tell after Thanksgiving it was a little bit more obvious. And then throughout the rest of the year, you know, I you know, self-image issues. What are you gonna do? You know? Oh man, but yeah, Chevy Jim, Northern Lights tonight and tomorrow. We're gonna have to do that. Kels, if you're still watching, we gotta do it. Woodward, we need a video on table one. For those of you that don't know, Table 1 is the entire known distance range for the United States Marines back before the annual rifle qualification. Table 1 was, um, let's see, you did what? 10 rounds at 500 yards on a silhouette target. And then, man, I already forgot what Table 1 was all about. It was like 500, it was like 300, 200, 100. And then there was something inside 100 too, wasn't there? The ARQ, that was the newer implementation of the rifle qualification for the Marines. I like the ARQ a lot better. It was a little bit more challenging, depending on how you looked at it. I didn't find it to be that much more challenging, but that's because I shot in full kit more. I also do more reloads. Things aren't as predictable in the ARQ, which again is the newer qualification for the Marines versus the original qualification. And I mean, it's all really like it's leave it to the Marine Corps to like take a range day and make it not fun, you know. Yeah, ARQ is fun though. The ARQ is actually fun. You're shooting on the VTAC barricades, um, and watching people not really understand like barrel harmonics and tension on the barrel, and understand the M16A4, the M4 that were issued in the Marines. Those aren't free floated rails. You'd see guys get up there and just put all of their weight onto the barricade, all that weight onto the barrel, and they're like, "Whoa, I don't know. I had my sights perfectly lined up. I don't even know my sights. My ACOG was on target. My RCO, and I don't know what happened." And it's like, I saw what happened. You had flex in your damn barrel because you were putting so much weight on it. Oh man, good times, good times. Table 1 was 1, 200, 300, and 500. Right. As many times as I shot the range, you'd think I'd remember that, but whatever. The Glock Koas should be worth a ton soon, at least on the overpriced Facebook trading sites and gunbroker. I heard only 62,000 were made, which is a lot, but not overall for Glocks. Yeah, true. OT Concerned Citizen Zastava Underfolder. That's a great comment. Great comment. Really appreciate that. Yep. Let's see here. Clint, what AR would you recommend for? I just answered that one, guys. You know? You know what I'm saying? But I'll say it again. Because you've asked the question again, and you also, I mean, it was the exact wording, so maybe you did copy and paste, but you talk about the home defense 380 black, you said 380 blackout. All right, you have to be like fat fingering it. I think you meant like 300 blackout. I would definitely say 300 blackout over 5.56 for home defense. All right, I'm just saying. Anyway, guys, by the way, if you like the hat, Eberly stock, we got their backpacks, we got their little hand warmers, all that type of stuff. It's freaking great. Code MagDump. Get you a little discount at Eberly stock, all right? Let's see here. Happy birthday to Clinton, to all the other veterans on this channel right now. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Colin McFadden. Appreciate that. Dropping my government name over here. Clinton. Everything autocorrects to 380, not 308 or 300. That's funny. That's funny. Beards on soldiers used to be a badge of honor, but World War I changed all that. Poison gas and gas masks. Yeah, I know about getting that seal. But also, it depends on how you trim your beard. Because even with this beard and I haven't trimmed in a couple of days, I can still get a seal on my gas mask. Do I have one laying around? I don't. The last time I used one of my gas masks was actually when I was cleaning out the chicken coop, believe it or not. So, and then my other one stays in the bag ready to go. That's the CM8. It's like the full visor, yeah, and the cheek weld from Mira Safety. But yeah, I know, about the beard thing and like gas mask seal, all that stuff, but like, let's be real. You know, I is it really that big of a threat now? It could be. Sea burn is a real thing. I get it. I know. But if maybe you're in that situation that you know that it's a possibility that, hey, we might be facing like a gas threat, then shave. You know? Outside of that though, like whatever, man. Whatever. I'm just venting. I'm just complaining. So oh man, we're gonna be finishing it off here in just a minute, by the way, guys. All right. Let's see here. Looking forward to getting my hands on my VCOG. Excited to run my first LPVO and also learn the MRAD reticle system. Your first LPVO is a VCOG. Your first LPVO is a VCOG, and you said that getting my signature series Mark 18 from Daniel Defense wasn't in the books for you? Okay. I'll just have you know, VCOGs will be around longer than my signature series Mark 18, which is still available and will be till the end of this year. All right. Just gonna throw that out there. All right. But also the VCOG is a fantastic LPVO. 10 out of 10 would recommend. It's definitely like one of my favorites. I don't personally own one. I really want to own one. The 1 to 8's cool. I know the Army adopted, I think, the 1 to 8 second focal plane. The Marine Corps adopted the 1 to 6 first focal plane. Thought that was kind of weird. Like why not just both get the first focal plane? Probably a cost thing. Manad Nakshudis and I were actually kind of talking about that some. But yeah. So yeah. Is there Trek Forward? Is there a good lever action? Is this a trick question? A good lever action? Like all lever actions are good, right? It's just some are, more good than others. In all seriousness, what are you looking to do, right? The thing that makes lever actions so attractive is that you can get the precision that you would typically get out of like a bolt action. Not as much. Like let's be real. There's a lot more moving parts, things like that. But it's the speed at which you can gain that type of accuracy, right? And then of course you get into semi-autos, stuff like that, which whole different things. But what I really like about a lever action is I've got something that's a slimmer profile, so I can go into like a sleeve or a sheath, easier to carry, especially trekking through the woods, stuff like that. Without a removable magazine. You have better capacity than what you will have in any bolt action rifle. And you can get shots on target faster than any bolt action rifle. That's typically the comparison there. So, are there any good lever actions? Well, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do room clearing, sorry, I don't think there's a really good lever action for that. Okay? In comparison to a PDW or a Mark 18, just throwing it out there. If you're wanting to do extreme precision, then a bolt action is a little bit more tuned for that. But if you're looking for something that you can get quick shots off with accuracy, with capacity even, then something like a semi-auto might do you fine. But if you want something a little bit sleeker, slimmer, traditional, then a lever action's where it's at. I love lever actions. I find them to be actually a lot more convenient and even more practical for like my day to day, right? Not that it matters, but anybody that's coming onto my property, we get deliveries all the time. We get random people coming up to us all the time, and I always have a gun on me. Like, let's be real. I always have a gun on me. Some people see me with a lever action slung up. It's like, yeah, not that big of a deal. I'm walking around with like my Mark 18, as I often do too. Kind of like, what you doing there, bud? Like, I'm living. I don't know. What are you doing? Doing your job? Dropping off a package or something? Cool, thanks. Have a nice day. Appreciate it. Want to shoot this gun that I'm carrying? Because guns are cool. I've never actually had a bad experience like that. One of the mailmen that we have on rotation here, I was filming a video out in the yard one day, and oh, what you got there? I think it was actually my 1301. I think I just got it, and my Beretta semi-auto 12 gauge. And I was like, oh, I got this new Aridus Industries like rail system and other components for this Beretta 1301. I'm doing a video on it. And I was like, you want to shoot it? He looked at his watch. He goes, I got time, And so, yeah, he ran a couple rounds through it. How cool is that? But yeah, no, I love a lever action. So there's definitely good ones out there. All right. Oh man, Barefoot Gardener Simplify. Happy Veterans Day. Appropriate, yes, 100%. Solo Gordo, appreciate you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate the super chat, my man. Thank you. And Marlin's a great brand, 110%. I'm not going to disagree with that. Marlin's a great brand. But you already know, though, man. I grew up with a Henry. Henry's always had a special place in my heart. Shot a lot, man. Shot a lot of Henry. That's for sure. All right. What's happening here? Gas. Oh, man. When people used to think beard, they were thinking that the Civil War beard. Yeah, right? Like a good trimmed beard. There's nothing wrong with that, man. If you ask me. All right. Damn it, I forgot to bid that on that gun you wanted. Tell us again next time you're doing that. Appreciate it, man. What gas mask do I recommend? Obviously, Mira Safety makes some great ones out there that are also affordable. And then Avon, who has the military contract, a lot of them. They recently started making civilian gas masks. I haven't tried them, so I can't really recommend them, but I know in the service that they did a good job. At least when I went through the gas chamber, which was only like 2 or 3 times in my career, because they took that away as an annual qualification, which is kind of sad. I always look forward to the gas mask. I was one of those psychos. People just used to freak out, man. Some people had like the claustrophobia. It's dark and you've got gas in this chamber, and they just don't know how to stay calm. They start psyching themselves out, man. And it was really funny because, you take the gas mask off or you breach the seal, and if you're smart, you just take a couple of deep breaths, and you just hold your breath. You should be in decent enough shape to do that. At least, you're in the Marines, so one would hope. Maybe, War Department Daddy, Segheth will, Hegseth will fix that. Oh man, yeah, I have another Clint. Making sure that everybody's in shape, But anyway, you breach the seal, and you'd have to keep it there for only not even that long. Well, it depends. Depends on who's running the gas chamber. They might make sure that you take a breath while the gas is there. You just keep your eyes closed so it doesn't get into your eyes. Then you do your exhale and flush the gases all out of the gas mask and everything. Then you take your breath and you're good. My problem is if you didn't do a hard enough like breath out, exhale, you wouldn't blow all the gases that are in your gas mask out. And you'd be like out of breath. And then what do you have to do to be able to blow those gases out? You have to take a breath. And then that's when you inhale all those gases, and that's when you're screwed, right? But the the gas mask, the gas chamber that was a qualification, an annual qualification before it wasn't. That was always a fun time, man. I'll never forget at my old unit. This is a funny story. They they did the gas chamber, but it was at a NOSC, right? It wasn't, it was like a reserve center, naval operational support center. So it wasn't an actual base. So there wasn't an actual like dedicated gas chamber. And so we did it in the motor T, uh like just a building. Um and they got all the Marines in there. They were setting all this gas off. Oh my God. And it was during the summer, and they would just keep the bays open for the air conditioning. They'd never turn on the air conditioning. But they didn't they didn't seal off the vents. So when the winter came and they turned on the heat, all the CS residue that was sitting in the vents from the gas chamber blew out and gassed everybody out of motor T. Oh my God. From months prior, dude. Like crazy, dude. Crazy. Oh man. Gas mask seal is a thing if you want to wear it for hours with a beard and do actual stuff. Yeah, you can get a seal while sitting, but go walk 3 miles in a desert with your gear and that seal don't stay. Maybe, possibly, but I also found that seal don't stay too. If you start to get really sweaty and then it starts moving around on your face, that can break too. So, gas masks, they just suck. They just suck in general. They suck because if you're wearing a gas mask, you're wearing it for a reason that sucks, and your visibility sucks, and you're hot sometimes, and your face starts to sweat, and that sweat can start to pull up. And if you've got a quality gas mask, they have a vent for that sweat, which is also really gross. I ran the CFT with a gas mask on. No, I didn't run the CFT. I was running as in like I was a the hell's the word I'm looking for? I was the guy that was catching the time for Marines running the combat fitness test. Dude, I'm just thinking of all the stories now. Because it was during COVID, and I'll never forget our first sergeant. That guy was a freaking. I'm out now. That guy fucking sucked. And he was making us all wear like our masks outside while running the CFT. He said if you're not running the CFT, you don't have the mask on, but if you're waiting in line, you need to have the mask on. And so I grabbed my Mira safety gas mask. I put that over my face, and I was like, I'm gonna be belligerent. Screw it, dude. I don't care. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? At that point in time, I was thinking like, let's say I'll be in longer than you because hopefully you'll be retired by the time I'm out of here. But I wound up changing units anyways. Who cares? But yeah, I'll never forget. I'm running up and down, keeping time, keeping score of everybody's CFT that they just ran. And I don't know if he comes up to me, is like, let me talk to you. I got my gas mask on. I first sergeant. He comes over. I think I was a sergeant at this point. I wasn't promoted to staff just yet. And he's like, oh, what were the words he said to me? He said something about like, why do you always do this? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you always doing this? So he just didn't like me. Well, I didn't like him either, so I don't care. But I was like, what, first sergeant? I just want to be safe. Like, don't you know there's COVID out here? He's like, get the fuck away from me. I, first sergeant, take off running. Next Marine, let's go. Oh my God, the sweat was just dripping out of this thing. Oh God, it was terrible, but I wasn't there. I was not going to take that mask off. Oh man. Anyway. I was your first sergeant. Sorry, I don't think you were first sergeant Irby. I don't think you were. Yeah. Anyway, habitual line crosser. Oh, dude, I love his stuff. Absolutely love habitual line crosser. Buff is the man. Um, Firearms fuel fabrication. Not everyone can be like Zed and Police Academy and Gas Chamber. We just need to develop Mjolnir armor from Halo. No more gas masks. Problem solved. I mean, there you go. Happy Veterans Day to y'all. Thanks to who served. Thank you, Meet the Targets. Appreciate that. That may have been my NOSC. Greenville, South Carolina. At that point in time, we were still in, were we still in, I think we were still an ammo company. I can't remember what year it was that we went to a detachment for CLB 451, and we were detachment 1, det 1. Um, it had to be like, what, 2015, 2016 that happened? I, I don't know. I'll have to call up my buddy Tyler. He still walks those halls, and I know the certificate that shows when it was decommissioned as an ammo company and then commissioned as a detachment. I know that that certificate is hanging up in the halls there at that NOSC. So, bro, what? It's not the gas in my gas mask I'm worried about. It's the gas in my exhaust pipe that's lethal. 988. You can call that number if you're feeling a little down about yourself. You know, if you're thinking bad thoughts or whatever. Anyway. Jacob Dotson, 5690. What's up, man? First and only firearm I've ever won in a raffle was a Henry 22. Love that rifle, dude. That's it, man. Absolutely love it. No, do not shoot Henry. He didn't do anything wrong. I thought I was about to get into a fight. And like, no, don't shoot Henry. It sucks or something like that. No, it's like that. This guy's making a joke. This guy's making a joke. Yeah. Do your Donnie impression. Do your Donnie impression. What are you talking about? Like Donald Trump? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not, like playing the accordion. Oh, I guess I did that during one live stream. I'd have to think about it. Like I gotta get like, Oh, no kidding. CLR 45. So yeah, how about that? Oh, when were you in? I'm curious. It's funny, after I moved up here to the 25th Regiment, that made a friend, Lindsay, and her husband Matt, and awesome people. She's still in, and it's funny. I was like, man, you look familiar. And she's like, coming up here to Massachusetts out of, whatever. I say up here to Massachusetts. A little bit further below me is Massachusetts, and where my unit out of Fort Devens was based. But she's like, yeah, CLB 451, and it's like, that's Combat Logistics Battalion 451. And yeah. Donnie from the Wild Thornberries. Amara. Oh, bro, how are you, man? I swear, dude. Oh, man. Dude, talking about memories now. So, Amaro was also at my. Are you still in, bro? We were in together at Det 1. And we used to do stupid shit together. He's talking about my Donnie from the Wild Thornberries. Dude, I'm not about to freaking. Oh, God, here we go. How's it going, dude? I mean, I don't even remember how to do it, man. Like, it was just like. You remember that time we were at the airport? Dude, were we coming home from AT or were we going to AT? And let me just stop. Let me just stop. Let me just say, Amaro. Yeah, man. I don't know. You got out 2 years ago. No kidding, dude. Man, well, I'm glad you're here, bro. Man, that's freaking sick, man. Oh, don't put me on blast. I was drunk and annoyed. Happy Veterans Day, man. Happy Veterans Day. Happy freaking, happy birthday, brother, dude. It makes me happy. You know how many, do you remember Hurley, Gunny Hurley? He tuned in to a live stream. It was a while ago now. I don't remember how many months ago it was. May have even been a year ago, dude. But yeah, Gunny Hurley tuned into a live stream. Um, Freaking Rosie. Um, he's a staff sergeant now too. He's tuned into a couple. There's been so many of you guys that tune into some of the streams that I've served with, and it's like, man, that's dude, I get emotional thinking about it, man, because it's like, dude, I mean, you guys, the Marines are y'all are what make it worth it. You know what I mean? And I was working with, my neighbor next door. We were putting in a gate in the yard for the horses, and he was just like, man, so how, like, do you miss it? Do you miss being in? I'm like, well, I was only in the reserves. I didn't live it every single day, and I'm sure I would miss it more if I was active and it was something that was truly like I did every single day. You know what I mean? But even being in the reserve side, there's a part of me that's going to miss the suck at annual training every year. That's going to miss going to drill and seeing everybody. But, the perfect way to sum it up is I miss the clowns. I don't miss the circus. And it can get ridiculous sometimes. You start asking a lot of like, why? Why are we doing this? Um, but what made it better was the guys in that you were next with, that you were hanging out with. You know what I mean? And that's exactly it. Panzer. The thing I miss the most about military service are the people I served with, and that's the part that kind of sucks. It really sucked after, and I think, if you're a vet, if you're currently serving, and maybe you went through what I did, I was really tight with my unit um, when I switched units. I spent a majority of all of my Marine Corps career there. I was there for what, 12. I'm actually looking at the gift that they gave me, 2011 to 2023. Um, and that's how long I was there at that unit. So I got to see a lot of guys come and go. Got to make a lot of friends. Got to find guys that I didn't vibe with at all. A lot that I did. It is what it is. And when I moved units to Massachusetts after moving up to New Hampshire and everything, there wasn't the same sense of camaraderie. I went from a detachment that was specifically 2311s, ammo techs, to headquarters company, and I was the ammo chief of like one or two ammo techs at any given time. And then, you had a comms department, you had food service, you had this, you had motor T, you had everything across the board, right? And everybody had their sections, and that was cool and everything. And I just kind of fell in under with the armory, because where else are you going to put the ammo guys, right? You need us once a year. That's to draw ammo for the rifle range. What else am I doing? I don't know. So I felt this like sense of just like, like, what am I even doing? And I don't have that tight knit relationship with my guys. I mean, with like the couple ammo techs that I did, we were pretty tight. But, you just, when you change units like that, you're leaving a lot behind, and man, it came like that for me too. Like, it was literally like I showed up one drill weekend and I left. I showed up not knowing that was going to be my last weekend with that unit. And by the time I left, I had a new position, 1,000 miles away. I was like, frick, man. And you show up, don't know anybody, it's like, that kind of sucks. I knew one person at that point in time, and that was just through like we passed each other at the range one day, when she was with CLB 451. That's Lindsay. And, she and her husband became like really good friends. They were at, me and Kelsey's wedding and everything. And so even just that little bit of change there, I was like, dude, I really miss the camaraderie and the brotherhood that I had at my first unit. And after you spend some time there, that can start to happen. You start to build those relationships up and everything. But that was another reason why I got out after 14 years was I just didn't feel, there's obviously the long-term effect of I stay until 20. Let's say I stay until 20. And this is a question that was asked also in that PSA video. Like, dude, 14 years. Why would you get out after 14 years? You're so close. Well, priorities and life, man. Let me tell you. Another 6 years, and with how annual trainings for me were starting to line up, I'd be missing more Father's Days, which again is crazy. Like I could probably make things work, but it just complicates things. But even if I were to retire at 20, having never been active duty, I've never been deployed, my pension that I couldn't draw from until I was in like my 60s, 63 or whatever, wouldn't even be enough money to make up for the health insurance cost. And I'm like, and then your weekends become more and more prized. I got something going on every single day, right? 8:30 in the morning, the horses need to be fed. 3:30 in the afternoon, horses need to be fed. They need to be rotated. The stalls need to be mucked out by then. On top of that, I got video content that I need to be recording. On top of that, I got content for GOA that I need to be getting out. And I need to make sure that I'm staying on top of my full-time position and my part-time position, helping out with a local gun shop with their marketing and whatnot. And it's like, man, if I'm going to be doing any type of traveling, if I'm going to be away from my family, I'd rather be doing that for the Second Amendment, for GOA, or for me personally, and not Uncle Sam. Sorry, the Uncle Sam just became less and less a priority for me, so much so that it was just time to go. It was just time to go. So, that's what happens. That's what happens over a period of time. So, but Amaro, thanks, dude. It was good to see you, bro. I'm glad that you hopped in for a bit, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, Clinton happens to active duty every 2 to 3 years, brother. I know. That's the other thing. I saw that with like the I&I staff that would get rotated out. I mean, when I was at, Det 1, the I&I staff, some that we would vibe with, dude, like we were so tight, man. And then they'd get rotated out. Then we get some fucking dweeb. And that was just like, by the book, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And just like, like when I say by the book, like, hey, devil, why don't you have your mask on? It's COVID. Aren't you worried about COVID? Like, not really. I'm more concerned about the dude that just shot up the NOSC in Tennessee. But, whatever. Let's worry about our masks. That, oh, so for active duty, I totally get it, man. You do that rotation and it's just like, oh, yeah. I guess 2 to 3 years isn't as bad as like 12. But even still, like, that sucks, dude. So, I get it, man. I get it. Why is there so many disabled veterans that only served 1 to 2 years and living off a disability from the government? Well, I will be the first to admit right now that there are definitely veterans taking advantage of the system. However, those that served only 1 to 2 years, I don't know what everybody's story is, but if they only served 1 to 2 years, they probably actually got injured, couldn't fulfill their contract, and are now, what I would think rightfully so, on some sort of disability. Are there some out there, though, who may have just twisted their ankle and are absolutely nursing that to the point of where they're getting taxpayer money every single month? Absolutely. Is it wrong and disgusting? And are those type of people the scum of the earth? Yes, 100%. I have a fucked up left shoulder. I have tinnitus. My knees are shit. And I'll probably never step foot into a VA. I also made a comment. Somebody was talking about like free food on Veterans Day. The only Veterans Day discount that I care to take advantage of is Tractor Supply. All right. That's where my heart's at. And I didn't even get there today. I didn't have time to make it to Tractor Supply so I could take advantage of my Veterans Day discount, What are you going to do, man? I will say, though, it's a military discount's cool. That's great. But you know what I would prefer to have? No taxation. Taxation is theft. And I would say do away with all military discounts and let's actually take care of our legitimately injured veterans. And let's do so by also not taxing their paycheck, which is somehow also taxpayer funded. It's taxation on top of taxation on top of taxation. It just keeps, and then where does all that money go? Right? Like, we're going down a rabbit hole now, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So. Just Jake again. I did 1 day of a monthly drill with a reserve unit after ETSing from regular Army. It was so ate up. When we were released at close of business, I drove straight home and waited on my discharge papers. That's the other thing I noticed is we would have people come from active duty, drop to the reserves, show up for one drill and just be like, this ain't it, and then bounce. And if all you've known is reserves and then you go to active duty, like, oh, okay, you expect the change. But if you go from active expecting the active duty mentality to carry over to reserve side, it's probably not going to be there. I don't know what I saw it like legitimately dozens of times. Marines would come in from active duty, just be like, all right, I'm checking in. Next drill, they're checking out, or even that same drill, they're just like, yeah, this ain't it. I'm done. I'm not doing this. So yeah, it happens. Yeah. I will say, as a career reservist, that if you want to take a look at, costs, like, man, I feel like a lot of drill weekends, are a waste of money. But at the same time, I understand, like, I don't know, I feel like there could be a huge restructuring across the board to try to save taxpayer money and save the time of Marines. And I assume the Army is the same way in every other reserve military branch. Like, I don't know. I get guys need to get paid, but I also think there needs to be responsible accountability. I mean, there needs to be accountability for that money. But I don't know. I don't know, guys. This has been a good talk though. I'm definitely happy to see that, one of the guys I served with hopped in the chat. If I missed anybody else, God bless you guys. Love you guys. And happy Veterans Day. White Rambo USMC. Happy Veterans Day. Simplified Devil Dogs. Oh, you gave a long oorah right there, right? Gotta give the good old little era, right? That's it, man. Man. Who would have thought after getting out? It is funny after you are out, you feel like you embody that Marine Corps a little bit more, So, all right, guys, we're gonna call it a night there. And oh, this is the other one. Half the disabilities the VA pays out were from injuries 100% preventable. I would say that, there's a lot of them that were not, well, yeah, it just depends. It just depends, man. But I don't disagree with your statement. All right, man. Thank you, guys. Jessica Simp, appreciate you, man. God bless America. God bless all of you guys. A final thing I want to note is if you haven't, after this live stream ends, if you haven't sat and thought about things to be thankful for, counting the blessings in your life, do that. Do that. All right. Think about, you might be in like the worst position of your life, right? But look around. You're watching this live stream, perhaps on some sort of piece of technology that at least to show that you're in comms, right? We got communication. We're here. I'm talking directly to you. And I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you interacting in the chat. If you were just listening, you're helping. You're helping the channel. You're here. You matter. And I thank you. And count your blessings. You know, I think a lot of us might go through life every single day taking for granted everything that we're actually given, including the breath that you're breathing right now. How significant that is, what that means, right? So, God bless you. I love you. And I'll tell you right now, the first thing that comes to my mind, this Veterans Day, my family. Those kids of mine, those crazy ass little kids, and that wife that keeps me on my toes. Guys. So, count your blessings. Say it out loud. You know, if you're the praying type, say thanks. Even if you're not, just say it. Say it to the universe about what you're thankful for. All right. I'm thankful for each and every one of you. Obviously, hugely thankful for my wife, my kids, this life of mine. That's why I carry a gun, because I want to protect it. All right. God bless you guys. Love y'all. And I'll see you next time. Have a good night. And cheers. Happy Veterans Day. Happy birthday, Marines. 250. That's what I'm talking about.